So, okay. After you 3D print your models, you should be able to have some post-processing on them. First thing you do is you're going to remove the support material and the other things along the way. You can use a knife or a hobby knife or whatever sharp object you have, but be careful, always work away from your body and not towards anyone else, because I'm saying that because Berkeley is there. So be careful not to harm yourself and the others around you. So what you're going to do is use a knife to remove these materials, excess materials that you don't want with your model. But actually what I'm going to show you today is how to sand and have a better surface finish for your 3D model. In order for you to do that, you have to buy sandpapers and be careful to choose the ones who are waterproof and also the ones for sanding metal. There are several types of sandpapers, and you should choose the ones for metal and the ones that are waterproof. There are also grades of sandpapers, which are indicated with numbers here. If the number goes up, the sandpaper gets finer, so you will have to sand a lot more with a 400 grit rather than 150. So you should buy something around 150 or 120, and also you should buy something around 400. And also maybe 1000. You should buy 3 types of this and maybe 2 sheets for each. So you should probably buy 6 sheets of sandpaper. So what you're going to do is start with the lowest number, for this instance, 150 grit, and dip it in water. This is crucial because of 3D print is made out of plastic. The friction heat that you do while you're sanding might damage your surface, and it also creates a fine dust which you should not breathe. So in order to do this, you just wet the paper and the print itself and start sanding in a circular way. It takes a bit of time. Like you use 20 circles and just wet the paper. Let me just pause this. After you're done using 150 for this, you might get on to the 400. This is 400. And again, dip it into water and start sanding. Depending on the direction that your part is printed, you're going to have your 3D printing layers. So if you have your layers in this orientation, probably sanding in this orientation will give you a lot better results for the smoothness of the surface. Evet. Şimdi elini bir şurada gezdir parmağını. Şimdi de burada gezdir. So depending on your surface and your surface needs, you might want to send this around, I don't know, half an hour or an hour for the whole part, but it will give you a lot smoother result in the end. And this will affect your final product and it will create a lot of difference when you paint this. So before using a spray paint or acrylic or any kind of paint, first thing you should do is wash this away. You should wash away the dust so the paint will stick to it. What you can do is 3D printing can be easily painted with acrylic paints or gouache, or my favorite is the spray paint. So you don't need a primer for it, but it will be a lot better. Primer is the first coating that you do for paint to stick to the piece a lot better. So a primer would be good, but it's not mandatory, but I highly suggest you use a primer for it. And the second thing is you shouldn't use spray paint in an indoor environment. You should do it in a well-ventilated area, probably outside, and without any windy conditions. So when you spray your paint here, it will go there, just not another way. So the thing is, when you start spray painting, you should never start on top of your print. You should start aside from your piece, start spraying and finish again off your piece. So it will have the particles in the start and the end won't be sprayed onto this, and you will have a smoother and even surface paint for this. So before starting to paint, shake your spray paints very well, like around 3 to 5 minutes, depends on your paint. So you will have even surface coating. So I shake this beforehand. So just test it on the side. Okay, it sprays. So I start on the side. I just sprayed it around 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters, and don't overspray it. Just have a coat and move on. Have a coat here and move on. And you should wait around 20 minutes for it to dry out, to set in. After that, you should apply the second coat. Don't just spray all over it until it have a thick layer of paint, but spray it, wait for it to dry out, and then again apply a second coat. And turn this around, maybe using your gloves, disposable glove might be good for you to not paint your fingers, and spray the sides. Just going to turn it around. That's basically it. When it dries up, again, it takes, depending on the humidity and the conditions, it takes around 20 to 30 minutes to dry out, and then you can apply another one coat. At least apply 3 coats of paint, and after that, depending on the surface finish you want, apply a thick layer of varnish. So it will add a durability to the paint you just painted on the piece. You can use a matte finish or shiny finish, depending on what you want to get out of your 3D print. So that's basically it for surface post-processing and the surface finishing of the 3D prints. I definitely want all of you to at least apply a coat of primer to your prints. Don't just take it out of from a 3D printer and come to class with it. At least sand it a bit and, I don't know, apply a coat of paint over it. So that's all for today. I hope you guys listen to this. Bye.